Joining me now from Washington, D.C., contributing editor for Newsweek, Peter Roff. Peter, I do believe that the coronavirus pandemic is real, and we know over 180,000 people have died. But you can certainly complain about the arbitrary rules and why things don't make sense. So you can loot, riot, protest, shoulder to shoulder, no masks, masks improperly worn. No one complains about that. But then when a church actually tries to follow the CDC guidelines, and they're doing a pretty good job of it, that's an issue. And then they're threatened with fines and threatened as an individual versus a business or a church. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
It is very arbitrary, which makes it very scary. We're supposed to be a nation of laws. The demonstrations we're seeing now are supposed to be about us all being treated equally. But it's very clear that certain politicians like New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, and especially California Governor Gavin Newsom are extending preferential treatment to people who are acting in ways that they perceive as being in their political interests, and they are punishing their political opponents.
Yeah, what do you make of Pastor MacArthur and some of the things he's said? I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to a lot of what he's had to say, even just about the virus. And also the fact that he has the possibility of being arrested if he continues to do the in-person church services.
Someone, I think it was the previous to the current cardinal in Chicago, said that he anticipated he would die in his bed, his successor would die in prison, and his successor would be martyred. There's very much an anti-religious sentiment in parts of this country, in urban communities. You hear it in Democratic platforms, leaving out the words "under God" at parts of the Democratic National Convention, the 2016 or 2012, leaving the word God entirely out of the Democratic draft national platform. People think, even the other day, people gathered in front of historic St. John's Church across Lafayette Square from the White House, shouting, "Burn it down, burn it down, burn it down." There is an assault on people of faith. I happen to think personally it has to do with the idea that faith teaches that there's a singular objective truth, one that is in conflict with the kind of economic, political, and social philosophies that you get if you follow Mao Zedong or if you follow Karl Marx. And I think that there's an idea that institutions of faith need to at least be co-opted by the state, if not pushed into the back of American society where they cease to be influential. That, again, is dangerous. We have a protection in the Constitution prohibiting any laws that impede the free exercise of religion. And I would argue, and I think you'll see some cases on this, that the prohibitions on church gatherings violate that constitutional provision. And I hope that the officials responsible will be sanctioned.
Yeah, and you're making a great point here, and this is not anything new. We've seen this war on Judeo-Christian values going on for some time now, and you could certainly make the argument that it appears that Democratic lawmakers especially are making this as difficult and as painful as possible. And we have people who make the argument that church isn't essential. It is essential, that they need that for themselves, for their spirit.
That's absolutely true. And I don't want to say that you can't be a Democrat and a Christian, or that you can't be a Christian and a Democrat. But I do want to say that the leaders of the Democratic Party, from Joe Biden on down, have been remarkably silent on the issue of religious oppression in this country. If they were as vocal about religious oppression as they've been about, let's say, racial oppression in the context of the immigration debate, or in the context of the debates happening right now in the streets of Portland and Seattle and Kenosha, Wisconsin, I'd feel a lot better. But you're not hearing anything from them. You're only hearing it from Donald Trump and the Republicans. This is an American issue. This is not a partisan issue.
Exactly, Peter. Well said. Anyways, well, we got to run. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.